I got a new little thing here to try to hang on and see if you guys can see what I'm doing while I'm fishing. So we're gonna try this. This should be on later, and I can just flip it around like so, and y'all can see what the heck I'm doing. So I'm just gonna load you up in here and pray that I keep service. Um, I'm trying my new little chest thing that I got so that we can see if this is gonna work, because I'm in the boat. I ran back up into this slough that doesn't get fished because the people, if they float down this, you can't get through at the other end. Like even in this boat, it was shallow as all get out trying to get through that. However, there's a cut, this cut bank here's got water in it. Like there's 7 foot of water over there. So I'm gonna walk up here and catch a rainbow trout real quick because I'm sure there's one in there. So welcome. Can't see the chats as well as I was hoping to. Tim Joyner was really cool about letting me in on how this worked with this. So I'm gonna see if y'all can see what I'm seeing. You know, all the fun stuff. I can't see it as well as I thought I was gonna be able to, because in order to keep it up where y'all can see what I'm doing, we're gonna walk down here. There's a run that comes through here. It's real shallow, and it's got quite a bit of water coming through it, but it actually cleared up since last weekend when I was out here. So tonight, if this will stay live, like if my doggone feet will stay going. I'm a little closer to town now than I was, a little close to Idaho Falls. So hopefully my feet will stay going. So welcome anybody who's willing to stick this out. I wanted to try this. Again, I'm trying this new chest protector, or chest, whatchamacallit. So what I'm doing is, you can see this run right here. There's about 7-8 foot of water in that. And then up there, there's a riff. And right at the bottom of that riff, there's a eddy. And I know there's some trout in there. I have no doubt in my mind. Hopefully Sis will get on here, because, yep. I see Pure Alaska. What's up, man? Levi, how you doing? I can kind of see this stuff. But this new... Tim Joyner, go check out his channel. He's a really cool dude. He was telling me about this chest thing, because that's what he uses. So I got one. But I didn't get one with a magnet, because I'm waiting and stuff that if I had a magnet and I caught it, especially fly fishing, I think it would just rip it out because the magnet wouldn't be able to hold it. So I got the one. I did a little video on it. It actually is, I can screw everything down. So the phone's like in there. It's not to say I won't fall down and get things wet. But again, if y'all could see that rip right there, where that comes out, that water's getting oxygenated as it goes over those rocks. And the water temperature is still pretty warm. It's like 70 degrees. Like for up here, that's pretty warm. But I know there's some trout right here. I've caught them in here before. It's just we don't fish it very often, because so the guys, when they come down, if they right there where I just ran through, it's really shallow even for my Go Devil. So people don't come fish this. They might stop and fish this, get a bar right there and come around and fish it, from that direction. But usually they don't hit all of this. And there's some deep water right here. I mean, again, where I'm about to cast, I'm casting it about 3 foot of water and bringing it back through this riff. And it's kind of warm and it's kind of early, but again, trying to go live too late. There's a fish right there. Look at there, first cast. Look at that. First cast. Come on, baby. Good job. See, and I think y'all can see this better. I'm not sure. Ah, lost it. Well, you got one jump out of it. Anyway, I knew they'd be in here. And so as long as this water's up, what I'm going to start doing is I'll run up here and fish this. And you've arrived when you can lose a fish like that. You just kind of laugh about it, because getting upset isn't going to do me any good. So anyway, there's more in there. And I'm thinking y'all can see that okay. Again, if I don't, I got something on it. I don't even know what it is. So if it messes it up, I apologize ahead of time. But first cast, took the big old trout. That was a brown. Usually when they rock it like that right out of the water. But there'll be more than one sitting in there. I might not get a hit right off the bat here because when they blow through there and start fighting, they get pretty excited. But I knew there'd be fish in here because, like I say, nobody comes and fishes this. Because to run a boat up in here, you got to have a Go Devil or a jet boat. And by jet boat, I mean a real jet boat, not a kicker motor with a jet drive on it. Or a Go Devil to get in here. The main river's right there. And on the other side of that bar that I'm casting to, there's a hell of a good place to fish, but it's really hard to fish by myself. I can't do it. Just me and the boat. Because my trolling motor will not hold it. Will not hold it in that current. Because the whole Snake River basically pours through there and it's ripping. But there's some fish in here. And again, I was surprised to get that hit off the bat, as warm as it is. But we had to wipe out the yellow jacket nest. But to the left of me, down that bank, that whole cut bank, you could tell when you get in these rivers like this and you see the cut bank where it just drops off into the water like that, it means it's deep right there. Like if you're running a boat and you don't know the water, you want to stay along the edge of that. But it's also a good place to fish because like I say, it's about, I think if I remember right, with the water being up like it is now, there's probably about 6 foot of water over there. It would have been nice to get that fish in so y'all could see that I actually do catch fish because the live stream seems to want to bail. But y'all like and subscribe. Please go check out Tim Joyner's channel, Tim Joyner. He's in North Carolina. He's the reason I have this thing on my chest now because he took the time to explain it to me, which I really appreciate. Holy Mackerel and I had a long talk about this today because he's wanting to try and figure out how to do fly fishing with the camera on his chest. But again, I think a magnetic one might not be the way to go because if you're stripping line and it gets caught around the doggone thing. And again, I went live a lot earlier than I usually would. I know it's late, it gets late on the East Coast, but I don't expect to get a couple hits here. It's going to take a little bit. You hook a fish in a small area like this and they go running around through there and jumping and stuff. It kind of freaks everybody out for a few minutes. But this is one of those places you could actually sit here all day and catch fish because they're going to come up from that deeper water into this where the shallow stuff's at, not only to catch the bait fish and stuff that are coming off of it, but because when it's warm like this, the water gets oxygenated, and that's what they need is oxygen, because the warmer the water temperature, the less oxygen it holds, and trout need cold water. So I cannot believe that was a nice trout, and I hope everybody got to see it because I know she skyrocketed. We'll see what happens here. Thanks for dropping in, like and subscribe. We do this a lot. I'll be out here all weekend fishing if I can keep my live streams going because I've been having trouble with my service out here because I am kind of in BFE, Idaho. I'm near Idaho Falls, but I'm still a ways away from things. Even though there's starting to be more people out here every weekend. Water feels good. I'm gonna have to take a bath in this stuff because it's nice. But I just posted a video. I don't know if it went up, just saw a big old bull moose. He was laying in the water staying cool and I kind of interrupted him. Got some pretty good video of him. And he's a monster. He's one of the better moose I've seen out here this last couple of years. Gonna be a pretty rack here this fall. But they only have one moose tag down here where I'm at. So it's not like everybody come down here and shoot a moose. I had a moose tag down here a few years ago. I could have shot a cow. I had a cow tag, but my back was killing me, and I was the only one who didn't fill a tag down here, but I could have. So I wasn't too worried about it. But what we're going to do is we'll work this for a minute, and then we'll ease back up and go towards the boat and fish all this deep water. Because there's some holes in here, if I recall correctly. And if I get in one of those holes, I'm sure. Oh, there was a hit right there. right there. All right, knucklehead, where you at? Wind's blowing pretty good. I hope you guys can hear me. Thanks for dropping in. Like and subscribe. Go check out my sister's channel, Granny's Corner. She'll be on later tonight, I think. She might be on here now, helping me out. I can't. Levi, Lisa, how you doing, Lisa, too? I could see you. Again, I can't really, hey, sis, I can't really read the chats. I could see who's chat. I have to undo it to read it, and I'm not even going to attempt it while I'm in the water because sure as heck I'll drop the doggone thing. But, I've waded across this a few times to fish this and caught some nice rainbows right here, but that brown was not happy about getting hooked. But I'm above the place where Nancy caught that trout the other day. I came up about a quarter of a mile up this cut, and like I said at the beginning, it's really shallow. Like I even hit bottom in the Go Devil coming up, and we've got a lot of water in here, so that's why this doesn't get fished that much, because when the people come down and float down the river right there, they don't want to come down this cut, so they stay on the main river out there. First thing, first cast. That's not a good thing to catch a fish on the first cast or hook a fish on the first cast because it's usually not good luck. We have won some tournaments by catching something on the first cast, but and there's some carp in here too. I've seen some big carp in this cut, and they'll hit this thing. But again, you got to work it pretty good because these trout aren't going to travel a long way to hit something when it's this warm. You got to put it right in front of them. So we're going to try and put it right in front of another one. But yeah, like, subscribe, hang out with us. We'll be doing this all weekend. That's kind of nice. 6 people watching, 6 likes. Thank you. Appreciate it, y'all. I hope I'm not interrupting Sis going to bed early because I know she's been up. And I think this thing, y'all can see everything all right. I mean, I know that I can flip it around like so, but the problem is, see, you're right, it's my mustache. Like, it's too close. That's why Tim, he said he liked that magnetic one because he could pull it off. And I could pull this out. It just unclips. So I could get it further away from my face. But, again, I ain't messing with the doggone thing. The bad thing about wearing this is the wind. Whoa, there we go, see? And I didn't drop the phone. Yeah. The bad thing is I don't have a weapon on. And I hope Mr. Bullwinkle's not mad about me waking him up out of his nap. Because if he wants to come stomp me, he can come stomp me. And you guys get a bird's eye view of that without being on my chest. Because I can't run. It's just going to be me and the moose. And there sure ain't no trees around here to climb, so I'd have to run to a tree. So that ain't going to happen. Anyway, I'm just going to work back downstream. And I'll come fish this every day as long as the water's up. Because now that it cleared up a little bit, there'll be some trout in here. I really need to hit that one riff over on the other side of this because there goes a kingfisher. I hope that this works out all right. Again, I can't really see the chats as well, but the water does look a lot clearer, doesn't it? It is. It's actually pretty clean considering, because they haven't, today the water's still up pretty high. However, they didn't fluctuate it a foot like they've been doing, because when they fluctuate it that much, man, it just muddies it up because it'll saturate the bank, and then they drop the water, and all that heavy, wet soil just drops off and erodes, and they'll scream about how the boats are eroding the stuff, and it isn't the boats, it's the way they fluctuate the water so much. And nobody really knows what's going on with it because the person who fluctuates the water I think, is in Oregon, and they just dump water as needed for Twin Falls. So because we didn't have, we had the snowpack we needed. It was 100% snowpack, but we didn't have any extra this year. So, and the other bad thing is when you hook a big trout like that in that hole, I guarantee you that that big brown has run every rainbow and every other trout out of there because that's the prime spot. So I got a hook in it, so it's not going to hit again today, and it might not hit tomorrow, but at least it might get out of this hole and go back down a little bit, and other fish will come fill in. Because normally right here I catch a bunch of little rainbows. We'll see. Anyway, I hope that this thing's working for y'all. But I'm also waiting. But it's a pretty day. It's just kind of warm. We have a breeze. It was a red flag. There was a hit. It's a red flag warning today for the winds. They don't want people burning stuff because they'll start a doggone forest fire. That's why I was really careful when I burnt that yellow jacket nest out. Stood there with a bunch of water and let it burn it out, and then put the fire out and made sure it was out because we don't need everything catching on fire down here, because I sure as hell can't afford that bill. See, I just don't know if that thing is focusing in on the rod tip or if it's, you could actually like see what's going on. I'll just have to check out the feed later and see what happens. But yeah, this is pretty, it's pretty deep right here. And along that cut bank, there ought to be some fish. But I didn't change the hooks on this either. I've been changing that back hook. If you go on the description list, it tells you everything I'm doing. And I know I haven't changed it because I'm fishing basically the same stuff every time. I'm definitely using the same equipment. But I usually change out that back hook on these things to a wide gap Gamakatsu in like a number 4. And that wide gap helps with these trout because professional override, because the rainbows have got really soft mouths, and it's nice to have that extra wide gap because it kind of hooks the top and the lower jaw. A brown usually will stay hooked, but anyway, welcome. Like and subscribe. Hang out with us. We'll be doing this all weekend. I kind of figured I'd go live now for a little while and fish this cut, and then I'll crank up and go back down a little bit and just work this one cut here tonight because, again, nobody fishes this. They don't float this, and nobody will run a boat up it because it's so shallow at the start of it that you got to hit it just right or you'll run aground or hit a moose. So, oh, there was a hit. Little rainbow. They do that. You can usually tell when a rainbow hits this because it's like a little tap and a shake. And it's not a very big fish. When a big one hits it, you know it. A brown just knocks the hell out of them and skyrockets, and like that one did when we started this. But the rainbows will kind of shake their head, and a big one you could tell because the head shakes a lot slower. It's not like a tap, tap, tap. It's more like you can feel them. But anyway, look at that. Isn't that pretty? Like, boat looks all cool sitting there. The moose is going to come out here in a minute and come check me out and say, why the hell did you wake me up? I was sleeping in the water. Now I'm getting the backlash every time. That's the other thing about wading. I can't carry all the stuff I used to carry, like fly fishing. I had everything I need with me. And it's hard to do that anymore. I just kind of come out here. I don't use a net. And the reason I don't, it's hard on fish. The newer ones are better, like a rubber net. But that old polyester and nylon just it's hard on them because it takes the slime off of their slime coat off. And then it opens them up for infections, bacterial stuff. And so I usually just wet my hands. The bass are easy because you can limp them. A trout's not as easy. They'll beat you to death to try and put a hook in you. And anyway. Yeah, that's a good thing to know. That there's a big brown hanging out at the mouth of this. However, it usually means there's not going to be anything else in there for a little while. And as it gets darker, those browns, see, they'll stay up in those cut banks. A brown will get up just like a bass or a catfish, and it'll sit up right in that cut bank and wait till dark, and then they come out and feed. But it's a pretty day. I hope you guys can see all right. I'm trying to. I think that magnetic one's going to be a lot better to use in the boat, though, so I'll probably have to get one of those. Yeah, holy mackerel, this thing works. I mean, if you guys are happy with the view, I know it's kind of bouncy and shaky, and, you know, I got to tilt it down to see what's going on. You have, again, it's really hard to see these. I can't actually see the chat, but I can lift that angle up if that helps to about there. Let's see if that helps. And again, it screws down tight, so there's no magnet for me to catch and knock the doggone thing off. But welcome. If you guys just joined us, we are fishing the Snake River in Idaho. Kind of near Idaho Falls, Firth, in that area. It's all public water, so it's not like I'm giving away some big secret. This doesn't get fished as hard as, like, say, Henry's Fork or Hell's Canyon, just because it's not like there's a hit. It's not like, let's go to Firth, Idaho and go fishing. It's just not one of those places. But the fish, it's good fishing in here. Again, it's been slow the last couple of weeks because of the water fluctuating so much. But if they just would leave it like it is, even with it being high, of course, it's better fishing when the water's low. But if they would just leave it alone, and it stays clear like it is today, we'll catch some fish. It'll start turning on. You still don't catch as many as you do when the water's down, but I'm just blowing this thing up and kind of letting it drift back with the current and just working it kind of slow. That fish hit it on the stop. I try not to stop it too much because a trout or a bass will hit it, you know, kind of when you're working it. The carp, they only hit it when there was a hit. Come on. Another rainbow. Little rainbows. Yeah, when you stop it, a carp will destroy it. And they're fun to catch, man. Don't get me wrong. But they're a handful when you're by yourself in the water with a 20-pound carp. And I don't see any snags in here, so. And I hope the wind doesn't mess up the microphone. Welcome, you guys. Thanks for liking and subscribing and all that fun stuff. And go check out Granny's Corner. She's my sister. I don't necessarily have to say that, but she's got a pretty awesome channel. And Tim Joyner, Holy Mackerel, Silly Salmon. There's just a bunch of great fishing channels on here. I appreciate y'all stopping in. Oh, there was a hit. Come on, baby. What? There's another. Come on, little rainbows. They're in here. They just, it might be a smallmouth too, because they're notorious for short striking this stuff. Let's see. In the fall, when you're fishing this bait, it looks just like a river minnow, and the river minnows spawn in the fall, and they'll come up and bang the heck out of the lure, and I've hooked them. You know, a river minnow that's the size of that thing right there, you know, and they'll hit it, or they'll get themselves hooked on it because they're just banging against it. Yeah, it'd been nice to show you a trout first thing while I still had service, but that's why we call it fishing and not catching. But some days, Tim Joyner's been catching. He's been catching a lot of fish, and he's in North Carolina. I really appreciate him taking the time on his live feed to explain this holder, because it's kind of been hard setting up the camera, and if I set it up on the bank there, I obviously can't read the chats at all. Let's see. Again, it's so hard to read in this sun. It really is. Uh-oh, Granny's talking about cooking, I think. Right on. Man, that's one thing I could go for. Get done fishing today. Heading my butt to the house. She always has one hell of a spread. I bet I could talk her into some chicken fried steak, even though she'd be mad because she won't eat the chicken fried part. She'll eat the steak part. But she loves me. She'd fix me chicken fried steak. Boom. So there we had what you call a bad cast because I got a backlash. You always fish those. I've caught some big fish on these quote-unquote bad casts. So, you never know. But yeah, it's a pretty day. There ought to be a fish right over there against that cut bank. But I appreciate y'all stopping in. I know it's Friday afternoon. Everybody's probably getting ready to take off and go do their weekend stuff, because that's what I did this morning. Was got everything out, and I'm back at camp, and everything at camp was fine. Hopefully get another fish here. Again, when the water's up this high, there's a little hit. There it is right there. Oh, that's a good fish. That's a good fish. Come on, baby. That's a good fish. I think we might have a carp. Yeah, that might be a carp. Yep, that's a big old carp. Big old carp. That's why I don't like stopping them. Oh, now he figured out he's hooked. He's like, oh yeah, we're hooked. Uh-oh. So what we do with these out here, I know a lot of people eat them. We feed them to the eagles because I don't want to lose the lure, so we'll fight this guy. So if the thing gets, boy, that's a good fish. They're fun to catch. It's just when you got a $20 lure on the end of that thing. And that's why I was surprised, because, you know, people who carp fish usually use a bait. And, you know, I'd heard, because we don't have carp like this in Florida, I'd heard that you got to use dough balls and all this other stuff. I have more carp on these live pointers. I don't know if y'all can hear that, but the line is singing. Come on, baby. Don't be breaking me off. This is the reason I use braid. I do not have a fluorocarbon leader on here. So what I'm going to do is try and get him up in the shallows here and get his head pointed towards the shoreline. But I don't think we're done yet because this is a pretty big fish and he's not even close to being tired. So, but I hope that the view's better than, yeah, that's a big old carp. Like, that's a big old carp. Look at that thing. Come on, buddy. Come on. That's a good. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Keep on going. Trying to keep his head turned. Come on, come on, come on. That's a good boy. No, no, he said, no, I'm going back out here. There he goes, taking off line again. I'm trying to tire him out. I'm using 30-pound braid, so I'm not too worried about it breaking. Look, if the hook straightens out, that's fine too. I just don't want to lose a lure on a carp. If I lose it on a big brown trout, then okay. Yeah, we got him pointed in the right direction. Come on, baby. The other thing is you got to be careful getting too close to him, because if that hook comes out and it decides to pop you in the head. Come on, come on, come on, come on. No, 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 no. Get your head up here. Come on. I know you don't want to do this, but there's no way I'm grabbing you. Because those of you guys who haven't messed with these things, they're sharp. I wish this was a redfish. We'd all be really happy. Carp. And again, I'm going to have to go get the pliers, because when they get hooked, sorry about the angle here, guys, but yeah, carp. As you can see by the size of my foot, it's a nice carp. So, try and do this without getting hooked in the head. Yeah, I'm going to have to go get the pliers. So we're going to put him up here. We're going to take and cut the line, or let the drag out, so when he starts flopping around, he doesn't break my rod. Sorry about the angle, guys, but we're going to go get the pliers. But yeah, I'm surprised those carp hit that live pointer like they do. I seriously, if I was in a carp tournament, I would throw a live pointer, because I've caught them in Colorado, and I've caught them here in Idaho, and that's the only place I ever really, in Florida, when I use a live pointer, we don't have carp down there. So anyhow, we need some good long pliers like that. And I know some people get upset because we kill the carp. If I had somebody that would eat them, I'd take them to them, but I've got somebody who eats them. Our eagles love them. And so the golden eagles and the bald eagles will come up and wipe this thing out. It'll be gone by tomorrow morning. So, and it's not like we are short on carp. You know, everybody knows they're an invasive species, and they just wreak havoc on lakes, and they wipe the grass out and do the thing up. But again, that's a nice carp. Let's see if we could do this without getting a hook in our head, because they start that, and then that hook will come out. There's one. Look at there. How cool was that? Now, if I could just get him from unwrapping, there we go. Yeehaw. Carp. Not exactly the brand of fish we were going after, but that's okay. We got to fight a big old carp. And again, they're fun, man. They're fun as all get out to catch. Now, I will go back to the boat, retie this, just because if I'm in a tournament, I retie after every fish. I mean, unless it's a 1-pound bass or something. But we're going to chuck him up here where the eagles can find it. And try not to get... yeah, see, that's a nice fish. But the eagles and the coyotes will have a heyday with that. And I don't know, that fish is probably 12 pounds, maybe. It might be a little bigger than that. Again, you can see the size of my foot, you know. Not bad. Sorry, buddy. It just in your day today. Anyway, and if that upsets people, I'm sorry. It's just I used to work for Idaho Fish and Game. We have carp shoots out here. They do everything they can to try and get rid of the carp. It's kind of like those snakeheads. I'm telling you guys, if you catch one, kill it. They are absolutely wreaking havoc on the ecosystems where they're starting to get established. I don't know what they taste like. It's kind of like with the lionfish. We were pretty instrumental in trying to get people to start killing lionfish when they've taken over in the Atlantic. And a buddy of mine, Bob, he has what's called the Frapper, and he actually borrowed the name from me, and it's a spear gun that we designed just to kill lionfish with. And we're trying to get people to eat them, and they make really good ceviche with lionfish, and it's delicious. It's just a lot of work to clean them. If you get stung, it's not the end of the world, but it does hurt with a lionfish. So I need to get my scissors here, and we're going to cut this off. We're going to pull off about 3 foot of string of braid. We do not throw the braid in the water. Please don't throw fluorocarbon monofilament braid in the water because it wraps up into all kinds of stuff. So we take this and we wrap it up and we put it in our pocket, or I put them in the cup holders, because then I can come back at the end of the day and clean all this out. And I shove it down in there, and I'll put a drink in there so it'll hold it in. But yeah, braid is really hard on critters. And then we're going to use a polymer knot. I'll try and turn around where y'all can see this. I don't get into like a bunch of showing y'all how to tie knots, because there's a bazillion really cool animated things that you can watch on tying knots. And I just use a polymer knot because you saw the knot didn't break with that big old carp. And I still got some fluff on there. There we go. So yeah, it's a polymer knot. It's really simple. Pull it through, make a loop. So we put a loop through there. We're going to go back around here, do an overhand knot, put that loop around the lure, and pull it tight after we lick it, because you don't want the friction of the line burning itself when you pull it down. And you want to make sure, I don't know if y'all can see that, but the where that's kind of hooked sideways in that eye, you want to get it off of that. You don't want it, you want that eye, you want it to be, and see, if I can't get it off of it, like it's not wanting to come off of there, I'm going to redo it. Because if you do it so that it's sideways like that, your lure's not going to work properly. So see what would happen if I pulled it tight? It's going to be sideways. You don't want that. So I'm going to cut it off and start over so that I can get that